Listen closely, because every second you waste is a second you'll never get back, and the choices you make right now will decide the life you live tomorrow.
Once upon a time, there lived a man in a small village, a man who was wise, kind, and deeply concerned about the future of his son. His son was different from the other children in the village. He was lazy, careless, and seemed to drift through life without direction or purpose. While other boys helped their families, learned skills, and contributed to the village, this young man wandered aimlessly, lost in his own world. The father observed his son with worry, feeling a deep sense of responsibility. He understood that life would not wait for his son to figure things out, and that one day reality would hit him hard if he did not learn the value of time and effort. One day, the father decided it was time to take action. He knew that teaching lessons through words alone would not be enough. Actions and experiences had a power that mere advice could never match. He called his son to him and said gently, with the patience of someone who had lived long and learned much, "Son, there is a watch kept inside the cupboard. Bring it to me." The boy, obedient but curious, went to the cupboard, opened it, and carefully took out the watch. He returned to his father, holding it in his hands, wondering what his father had in mind. The father examined the watch with a thoughtful look and then said, "Now take this watch to the market. Ask everyone you meet how much they think it is worth." The boy was puzzled, but he did not question his father. He nodded and walked to the market, holding the watch as if it were a treasure. As he approached the busy streets, the sounds of merchants, buyers, and the chatter of the village filled his ears. He stopped the first man he saw and asked, "How much do you think this watch is worth?" The man examined the watch and said, "I would say 500 rupees. The boy thanked him and moved on to the next person. Another man looked at the watch carefully and said, "I think it is worth 1,000 rupees. The boy noted the answers and continued. He asked several people. Some gave 800, some 1,200, and some laughed at him. He realized that everyone gave a different answer. Some people even gave the same number, but there was no agreement. When the boy returned home and told his father what had happened, the father smiled gently and said, "Put the watch back in the cupboard for now." The boy wondered why this exercise was important, but he trusted his father. The next day, the father called him again. "Son," he said, "bring me the watch once more." The boy fetched the watch and handed it to his father. This time, his father said, "Go to the market again, but do not ask about the price of the watch. Ask people the price of the time inside this watch." The boy was confused. Time inside a watch? What could that mean? He did not understand the purpose, but he obeyed because he knew his father would never ask him to do something meaningless. He walked to the market and asked the same people he had spoken to before, "How much is the time inside this watch worth?" Some people looked at him strangely. Some laughed outright. Others told him to go away, saying, "What a foolish question." The boy felt embarrassed and started to lose hope. He wondered if he had misunderstood his father. Yet he continued until he reached a small shop where an old man was repairing watches. The old man had experienced life in its fullness. His hands were skilled, and his eyes were full of understanding. The boy hesitated for a moment, then asked, "Sir, can you tell me how much the time inside this watch is worth?" The old man paused, looked at the boy with a kind smile, and spoke gently. "Son, you cannot put a price on time. You can offer millions of rupees, but you cannot buy back even 1 second of your life. That is why you must use your time wisely." The boy listened carefully, absorbing each word. The old man continued, "Son, time has 2 things, a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is that it passes. It moves forward relentlessly without waiting for anyone. The good thing is that You can choose how to spend it. Every person in this world, rich or poor, young or old, has exactly 24 hours in a day. What makes the difference is how you decide to use those hours. The boy's eyes widened. He began to understand what his father had wanted him to learn. The old man leaned closer and said, "Son, the moment you start valuing your time, you change the way you see life. Time is the one asset that cannot be stolen, borrowed, or regained. Once it is gone forever. So do not waste it on laziness or meaningless wandering. Invest it in learning, in growing, in becoming the person you were meant to be." The boy felt a spark ignite inside him, a realization that shifted something deep within. He thanked the old man and ran back home, eager to share the lesson with his father. The father smiled knowingly as his son recounted everything that had happened at the market. He placed a hand on his son's shoulder and said, "Now you understand, don't you? Life will not give you a second chance. Every moment matters and every choice counts." From that day forward, the boy changed. He stopped wandering aimlessly. He began to work hard, to study, to help his family, and to build his skills. He understood that success was not about luck or waiting for opportunities to fall into his lap. It was about using every hour wisely, every minute intentionally, and every second with purpose. The villagers noticed the transformation. The boy who once seemed lost and careless became diligent, disciplined, and full of energy. People admired his commitment, and slowly doors of opportunity opened for him. He learned that time was the ultimate equalizer. The wealthy and the poor both had the same 24 hours in a day. But what distinguished one from the other was the choice to make every moment count. He also realized that time was more valuable than money. Money could be earned and spent, lost and regained, but time once gone could never be recovered. That understanding fueled his drive. He studied the habits of successful people. He trained his mind, and he worked with consistency. He embraced challenges, knowing that every struggle was a chance to grow and every setback was a lesson. As he matured, he shared this wisdom with others. He told friends and neighbors, "Time is free for everyone, but it is priceless. You cannot buy it, but you can use it. You cannot keep it, but you can spend it. Once it is gone, you can never get it back. That is why you must use your time wisely." This lesson became the foundation of his life philosophy. He woke up early, planned his day, prioritized tasks that mattered, and focused on long-term goals rather than short-term distractions. He learned to say no to time-wasting activities and yes to growth, learning, and productivity. Over the years, he became a person of influence, someone whose words carried weight and whose actions inspired others. People asked him the secret of his success, and he always replied, "Value your time above all else. Protect it, invest it, and never take it for granted." The story of the boy and the watch spread across the village and beyond. People began to understand that success was not reserved for the lucky or the talented alone. It was reserved for those who respected time, who treated every moment as an opportunity, and who understood that life's most precious asset was not money, power, or fame, but time itself. In this story, there is a lesson for everyone. No matter where you come from, no matter your circumstances, you have the same 24 hours that everyone else has. You have the power to choose what to do with those hours. You can spend them wisely, building a better future, or you can waste them, letting life pass you by. The boy's transformation reminds us that understanding the value of time is the first step towards a meaningful, successful, and fulfilled life. Time is the canvas on which you paint your life story. If you spend it aimlessly, the picture will be dull and incomplete. If you spend it wisely, with intention,
focus, and purpose, your life will become a masterpiece. So, take a moment now. Think about your next hour, your next day, your next week. Decide how you will use your time. Choose wisely. Invest in yourself. Learn new skills. Help others. Pursue your dreams and make every second count. Because life is short, opportunities are fleeting, and every moment that passes is a chance that will never come back. Remember the boy and the watch. Remember the old man's words. And remember that the most valuable currency you will ever have is time. Protect it, honor it, and use it wisely. For the way you spend your hours today will shape the rest of your life. Every morning you wake up, remind yourself that you have been given 24 precious hours. Use them to move closer to your goals. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't waste a single second. The power is in your hands. Your focus